part of the BWA Fujinkai for many, many years. How it started for her to have this test, I'm not positive, but I know for sure for years she would purchase the dry udon noodles and then divide them into 5 or 10 pound individual packets that she would then deliver to the BWA ladies to cook in their homes. And then she had some simple instructions because she didn't want to tell them how to cook the noodles. After the noodles would be cooked, they would have to then put them in individual piles on a tray, and then that would then be taken back to the temple and put in the refrigerator before the scheduled Obon would happen. And she was very proud to do that. I'm sure the ladies that cooked the noodles were very proud because they each had their own way of doing it. But then it evolved when one of the ladies was lifting a pot of hot dashi and accidentally tripped, and she burned herself with the hot broth. And so it began the thought process of, we can't be doing this, for the ladies to have to carry the heavy broth and then to cook the noodles at home. So that evolved into Brad getting involved.
Mom announces that she has to do this Udon distribution, which I responded to saying, "What the heck is that?" And she said, "You didn't know that I've been doing this for years?" And then after she explained what she was doing, I said, "Mom, with the new health regulations, we cannot be cooking noodles at home. We're going to have to do it at the temple in a controlled environment." And that started the research on how to do that. And they presented this to the Fujinkai at one of their meetings. It was very interesting because they said, "It takes 100 ladies to do this right now. How are you going to do this?" And I said, "Well, I think with our system we can probably do it with 2 or 3 people." And they responded, "We don't know how you're going to do that, Brad, but go ahead and try." All of the people that really participated, it wasn't just a couple of us that developed the system. Jimmy Shidawara, Shig Tachibana, and Mr. Masaki helped, Mr. Ikewa helped, Sylvia Nara,
and Minako Nakamoto. Those 2 ladies were key in terms of the whole process.
Yeah, development of how it, making sure the noodles were coming out exactly correct. And they said the noodles are better because we cooked it on the spot right before. And one of the things they mentioned was, we noticed that when the noodles were cooked by the ladies beforehand, the older ladies would cook the noodles a little more than the younger ladies because they liked softer noodles. So the consistency of the noodles became better with the new system.
The recipe was very, very precious. Nobody could share that recipe, and it couldn't go out of the Mountain View Buddhist Temple. So that was part of the thing that was very strongly instilled in the new process.
One of the interesting things about that recipe and why it was so coveted is that recipe was developed over a long time to be the highest profit recipe, but it wasn't the best recipe that the ladies had. It was the most profitable one. We got to have their best recipe, which was way better, but it was expensive. That's part of the reason why it was so highly coveted, was the best balance between taste and cost. Mrs. Nara and Mrs. Nakamoto would come out very often to check up on us. And they tried to be very polite because we would mess up sometimes and not stir the noodles enough, and there would be a clump of noodles. And they would very politely bring out this clump of noodles, but very firmly say, "Brad, we have a little problem here." Quality control was very evident, and
They would actually bring out samples of the clump noodles. So it was like Sylvia Nara and Minako Nakamoto. Anytime they came out, it was like, you better make sure you're doing everything right, because they were in charge and they were responsible. Even though this new system was going on, they still felt responsible to make sure the udon was like really good.
The Udon system grew out of similar system done for the mochitsuki. The person I have to really thank is Mr. Kariya, because Mr. Kariya had a vision during mochitsuki where one of the steam hoses broke, and he said, "Brad, we need to fix this so that a lot of people can participate, and you need to make it so that," and his vision was really, really clear. He said, "The system takes away all of the hard jobs and leaves a lot of really easy jobs. This can become safe and fun for everybody."
All ages.
And following that change, the back side there where we were cooking became full of really everybody from kids to adults. And Mr. Kariya was very proud of the fact that this system was now a community of people instead of just a few people back there that were willing to deal with the steam hoses.